A commentary on certificate forgery in Nigeria. In recent times, the menace of certificate forgery appears to have become Nigeria's sword of Damocles, with each episode of forgery waiting to embarrass the country in no small measure. The initially highly covert and secretive business seems to have gained tremendous traction quite recently, becoming hopelessly brazen. Amongst the usual culprits of certificate forgery are politicians, often desperate to outmaneuver their political competitors in order to gain various degrees of undue advantage. The cases of Salisu Buhari, a former Speaker of Nigeria's House of Representatives who resigned in 1999 courtesy of allegations of certificate forgery, and Kemi Adeosun, a former Minister of Finance who admitted to parading a fake NYSC certificate, quickly come to mind. Still to be mentioned are civil public servants whose entry qualifications sufficed in the forgery of birth certificates or use of other means to achieve age reduction in order to guarantee more reckonable days of service than their true ages would have afforded them. In 2019, Okoye Obono Obla, a former chairman of the Special Investigation Panel for the Recovery of Public Property, was sacked on allegations of forging his West African school certificate. Similarly, Mr. Chima Igwe, a former acting director general of the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, Oshodi, was accused of claiming to be a PhD holder from a certain University de Abomi Calavi in Benin Republic, albeit that he was yet to conclude the program. Even the academia is not left out of the mess, as we still remember the unfortunate news of the discovery of over 100 fake professors in Nigeria by the Nigerian Universities Commission in 2019. There was also the case of one Peter Ikemizie, reported by the Punch newspaper of 17th October 2019, to be masquerading as a senior lecturer at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, with a fake master's degree. The story goes that shortly after the detection, the institution also withdrew the PhD awarded to him on grounds of plagiarism. Additionally, during a National Teachers Institute graduation ceremony in Kaduna State, Patrick Yakowa, a former governor of the state, lamented that the credentials of about 2,000 teachers serving in public schools are fake. Interestingly, Malam Nasser El-Rufai's sacking of 2,357 teachers a few years later appeared to confirm the rot in Kaduna education. But if the teachers are culpable of certificate faking, one begins to wonder what their students would do. Incidentally, one does not need to go far to find out the ferocious resilience with which Ms. Mesoma Ejikeme defended her forged UTME result, even in the face of evidence establishing a prima facie case of forgery, still elicits shudders from anyone who remembers that story. Mesoma, who was accused of changing her UTME score from 249 to 362, held on to her lies so dogmatically that it took the intervention of a House of Representatives-backed investigative hearing for her to confess. Unfortunately, the rot in the document falsification sector does not begin and end with teachers and students or with politicians and civil or public servants. Cases abound of supposed core professionals caught in the act and in very embarrassing circumstances. For instance, Nigerians woke up sometime in 2015 to the arrest of one Mosu Angela Njide, who had been masquerading as a medical doctor with forged documents. What was striking about Njide's case was not the fact that she forged documents. Rather, it was her uncanny ability to evade proper scrutiny, to the extent that as at the time she was finally caught, the fake doctor admitted to have worked in highly reputable medical institutions like the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, LASUT, and the British American Tobacco Clinic, Ibadan. Furthermore, there was the case of one Mr. Chris Elisha, arrested for illegally practicing as a lawyer for 15 years, in addition to Uche Nwajaku, who was arrested by the police in Lagos for masquerading as a lawyer at the Ojo Magistrate Court for 3 years. Perhaps one of the most intriguing stories ever told about how forgery could ridicule a people is seen in Emily K. Obinna's Certificate Forgery and Victims of Own Craft, published online in the business day of 23rd February 2020. According to Obinna, on September 15, 2010, a family was at the Murtala International Airport, Lagos, to bid farewell to their son who was traveling to Spain for football trial sake with a Spanish second division club.